I step into Auntie's kitchen, the morning sunlight stretching across the worn wooden table, and immediately feel it. Her anxiety radiating, palpable, like a storm pressing against the windows. She's clutching her phone, knuckles white, her eyes wide and unblinking. A suspicious call had just ended, and I can see it etched into every line of her face. Her bank account compromised, her trust shredded in minutes. My chest tightens as I watch the panic ripple across her face. Her hands tremble uncontrollably, the coffee cup rattling against the saucer as if echoing her fear. I step closer, trying to offer reassurance, but the echo of those smooth, condescending voices invades my mind, soft, insidious, dripping with fake sympathy. They had exploited her kindness so easily, pretending to offer help while taking everything she trusted. I can still hear their laughter, cruel and sharp, mocking her age, her apparent naivety, the tiniest mistakes she made. Even in the privacy of her own kitchen, her hesitation and doubt scream loudly, painfully public. I remember how quickly they worked, how effortlessly they manipulated her. Every question, every suggestion, every pause in their voice was engineered to pry out sensitive information. The humiliation lingers, a heavy, suffocating weight, twisting in my chest, gnawing at me with the fear that we've been fully exposed. Auntie avoids my eyes, shame flooding her every movement as if she can hide from the truth by shrinking into herself. My anger surges, rising like molten steel through my veins. My jaw tightens, my hands clench, and I vow, silently and fiercely, that this will not end here. I replay the moment endlessly in my mind, the smug smirk of the scammer etched in every memory, fueling a fire I cannot quench. The voicemail confirming successful access haunts me, a sharp spike in my chest, the first spark of obsession, the first real taste of the war to come. Auntie buries her face in her hands, quiet sobs shaking her body. The kitchen is still, the air thick with tension and grief, broken only by the soft echo of her heartbreak. I take a slow, measured breath, feeling the weight of the story yet to unfold. This humiliation, this betrayal, is only the beginning. I remember Auntie the way she used to be, fierce, sharp-minded, completely in control of her small antique business. She ran that shop like a captain, steering through storms, every piece polished, every negotiation precise. She was a woman people admired, even feared a little, and yet she sacrificed so much. She put family first every time, folding her own dreams and tucking them away so the rest of us could rise. Her ambitions lived in the shadows while she pushed everyone else into the light. Her kindness, her trust, traits that once made her loved, were now the very weaknesses these scammers used against her. I can still see her as she was when I was a child, transforming every holiday into magic, hiding her exhaustion behind warm smiles and late-night preparations. I didn't understand her strength back then. I didn't understand her pain. As I grew older, I noticed the scars she carried. Friends who used her generosity as currency, neighbors who whispered behind her back when she struggled, family who twisted her loyalty into leverage, betrayals layered over years, turning her heart careful, quiet, but never bitter. She had faced a financial betrayal long before this one, a moment that stole more than money. It crushed her confidence, left her questioning her worth, muting her voice. I remember how she withdrew afterward, how she stopped trusting her instincts. Seeing her shaken now drags that memory to the surface, and anger swells inside me. But beneath her softness is a subtle intelligence people often overlook. She solves problems silently, plans meticulously, thinks 5 moves ahead. She's always been the type to figure things out alone, quietly carrying storms no one sees. Her vulnerability today isn't weakness, it's history resurfacing, wound over wound, pain layered so deeply it's almost invisible. I see it clearly now. Manipulation has followed her for decades, like a thread woven through her life. This scam, it's just another attempt to break the woman who has already survived far too much. And I feel something fierce rise in me because she taught me everything: patience, observation, strategy. She taught these lessons without speeches, simply by living them. Every loss she survived, every betrayal she endured, pours into my veins like fuel. I look around the kitchen, the smell of coffee, the old wood, the weight of her memories pressing against both of us, and I feel myself transform, protective, steady, ready. I stand behind her like a shadow preparing to strike, knowing this humiliation won't be the final note in her story. Not this time. I make a silent promise to myself. This injustice demands a response shaped by her history, her strength, and every scar she carries, and I will deliver it. I start by documenting everything: their numbers, their emails, every fake promise, every tiny slip they made. I write it all down like evidence in a case file. Each detail a thread I know I'll pull later. Every failed attempt to regain access to Auntie's account grinds deeper into my nerves. Every rejection from the system, every automated message pushes me closer to obsession. I replay their recorded voicemails late into the night, listening to the tone beneath their words, their timing, their pauses, their false confidence. I map it all, layering their vulnerabilities over their arrogance like a blueprint for destruction. My nights blur together, coffee rings on the table, scribbled notes everywhere, spreadsheets filled with numbers, emails, timelines. My mind becomes a war room, and they have no idea they're already inside it. Meanwhile, Auntie shrinks in her own home, shoulders hunched, pretending she's fine even as fear steals the color from her face. Watching her struggle makes my blood run hot. I fight through endless calls to banks, financial institutions, customer service departments. Every scripted response, every pointless transfer tests my patience in ways I didn't think possible. Then the scammers escalate. They send more messages, urgent ones, threatening ones, trying to intimidate her into compliance. I study them carefully. Urgency, guilt, manufactured fear. They use the same psychological tricks over and over, convinced they're untouchable. One afternoon, I call them back. I soften my voice, let it shake just a little, pretending to be naive. On the other end, they grow bold. Too bold. Their arrogance flickers, revealing more than they intend. I take mental notes with every word they drop carelessly, every detail they think I'm too stupid to catch. Auntie watches me from the corner of the room, her eyes wide. There's awe there, fear, and something like hope. It pushes me further. I dig into forums, blogs, news reports, stories of others who fell for similar traps, stories of those who fought back. Each one refines my strategy, shapes my next move. The more I learn, the more my emotions twist together into a tight, focused determination. Anger, protectiveness, cunning, they become the fuel for my sleepless nights. I start to visualize it, the confrontation. The moment their confidence collapses, I see it clearly. One precise action, one calculated move, capable of unraveling everything they built. To get there, I test smaller maneuvers first. A hint dropped in an email, a fabricated detail slipped into a voicemail. I watch how they react, studying the cracks in their responses. And every time they escalate, every threat, every attempt to scare Auntie further, my focus sharpens. My resolve hardens. Their intimidation doesn't weaken me, it feeds me. Because now I'm not just planning revenge. I'm engineering their downfall. The tip comes out of nowhere, quiet, discreet, from someone I trust completely. Someone who once clawed their way out of the same kind of scam Auntie just suffered. Their voice is low, steady, and the information they give me hits like a spark in a dark room. A single digital breadcrumb the scammers left exposed. A flaw so subtle they never imagined anyone would find it. For the first time, adrenaline rushes through me like a rising tide. The power that had been slipping through our fingers finally shifts back toward us. I look over at Auntie and she senses it instantly. The change in my posture, my breath, my eyes narrowing with purpose. Her shoulders lift ever so slightly, as if hope finally has permission to return. I pick up the phone. My voice is calm, almost soothing, but every syllable is sharpened with intent. When the scammer answers, their confidence oozes through the line. I can practically hear the smirk, the arrogance, the belief that they still control the board. But they don't realize I'm already 10 steps ahead. I guide the conversation slowly, subtly, as if I'm lost, as if I need help. Each question I ask is designed to push them just a little, to make them believe they're safe enough to flex their ego. Their responses spill out carelessly, dripping with overconfidence. They reveal account structures, timing windows, even a hint of their accomplice network, details they don't even register as dangerous. Auntie sits beside me, silent, but her expression shifts. There's a faint smile tugging at her lips, a familiar glimmer of the intelligence she once wielded effortlessly. She sees what I'm doing. She recognizes the strategy, the control, the poise she taught me without ever realizing it. I record every word, not for revenge yet, but for justice, evidence that will expose them exactly the way they deserve. And as the call continues, something changes. Their tone slips. That arrogant edge dissolves into uncertainty, then into a tight, nervous stutter. They feel the ground shaking beneath them, even if they don't know why. This isn't just a revelation about the scam, it's a revelation about them, their arrogance, their blind confidence, their belief that people like Auntie are easy prey. Their underestimation is the crack I've been waiting to strike. Vindication surges through me, powerful enough to steady every fracture inside. The humiliation we felt starts to lift, replaced with a quiet, rising certainty. This call, the single, meticulously crafted call, pulls every late night, every note, every ounce of emotional endurance into one sharp, decisive moment. When I finally hang up, my heartbeat is racing, my palms are warm, and I know it without a doubt. The first real move of revenge is complete. I compile all the evidence on the dining table. Phone recordings, emails, screenshots, timestamps, every behavioral pattern I tracked. The room feels colder as I arrange them into a sequence, each piece a reminder of how close they came to breaking Auntie. I take a deep breath and begin stitching the truth together, step by step, until their entire scam structure lies exposed in front of me. I consult a legal advisor the next morning. His office feels sterile, harsh, but his tone softens as he listens. He guides me through every legal angle, every loophole they exploited, and how to turn emotional victory into official justice. When I walk out, the weight in my chest has shifted. No longer fear, but purpose. The formal complaint is filed by noon. Not vague, not hesitant. Complete, undeniable, airtight. Names, accounts, recordings, patterns. Their entire operation is now on record. The moment I hit submit, I feel something click inside me, like a locked door finally swinging open. That evening, I move to phase 2, quiet exposure. I release subtle threads on social media. Nothing defamatory, nothing reckless. Just facts, screenshots, and their own cocky words. Their arrogance spreads fast, unraveling in public exactly the way they flaunted it in private. Then comes the controlled confrontation. I plan it carefully, choosing a setting where witnesses can see everything. Neighbors, friends, a couple of community members who once doubted Auntie. Auntie sits beside me, hands trembling slightly, pride and disbelief fighting in her eyes. I start the playback of the phone call. Their voice echoes through the room, smug, careless, self-assured. I pause at key moments, dismantling every lie they ever told. My explanations are calm, precise, unnervingly steady. Each segment reveals another layer of manipulation. A few people gasp, Others exchange looks. Auntie's chin lifts slowly, as if reclaiming something stolen from her. The scammers try to pivot, to cover their tracks, to deny what's happening, but every attempt collapses. Their contradictions expose them further. Legal scrutiny tightens in real time. I watch their confidence drain from their faces. Sat. I engage them directly, but not with anger, rather with clarity. I walk them through the emotional tactics they used: intimidation, fake urgency, inflated threats. I point out how they preyed on Auntie's fear, how they calculated her trust. Every word lands heavy. There is no escape, no room for spin. Auntie's panic dissolves into something warmer: relief, validation, pride. She looks at me as if seeing the child she raised rise into the protector she never asked for, but desperately needed. By the time the confrontation ends, their bravado is gone. They stand in silence, humiliation settling like dust around them. Every lie exposed, every trick neutralized, every ounce of arrogance turned back on them. And I feel it. The culmination of months of quiet planning, observation, endurance, revenge sharp and exact, delivered without chaos or cruelty. Just. Auntie pulls me into a hug, her arms tight around me, gratitude radiating through the silence. I close my eyes, letting the moment anchor itself in my chest. As I step back and watch justice unfold around them, the satisfaction isn't loud or triumphant. It's reflective, heavy, meaningful, the kind that comes from reclaiming dignity stolen in the shadows and returning it in the light. The legal case closes quietly but decisively in our favor. The scammers face consequences they never imagined: official records, investigations, and a public unraveling that leaves no room for their lies. The relief is immediate, a tangible shift in the air around us. Auntie begins to reclaim herself. Her laughter returns, soft and genuine, filling the kitchen with warmth that had been absent for weeks. I watch her move through life differently now, confidently navigating her finances, re-engaging with friends, smiling without hesitation, free from the constant shadow of fear that once clung to her. I reflect on everything that brought us here: patience, observation, intelligence, how moments of helplessness became stepping stones to empowerment. Every late night, every note, every careful decision contributed to this reclaiming of control. Our bond deepens. The ordeal, painful as it was, becomes a testament to resilience and strategic thinking. We survived together, not just as family, but as partners in a battle that demanded cunning and courage. I purge the remnants of obsession: spreadsheets, notes, recordings. All that remains are memories of calculated victory, lessons etched into my mind and heart. I take time to mentor Auntie, teaching her how to recognize manipulation, protect herself, and trust her instincts again. The names of those who tried to harm her fade from our lives, replaced by closure, dignity restored, and a quiet triumph. Emotional scars remain, but they have transformed, markers of vigilance, courage, and subtle strength. I watch sunsets with her now, the sky painted in gold and amber, a serene reminder that intellect and composure won the day. Gratitude has replaced anger, the emotional weight of the ordeal lifting like mist in the morning. Small joys return. We cook together, plan minor adventures, laugh at trivial things, celebrating resilience in ways both profound and simple. Silence in the house is no longer heavy with fear. It carries triumph, reflection, and peace. I think often, deeply, revenge is not merely retaliation. It is reclamation of dignity and power. Our lives continue, enriched by experience, strengthened by intelligence, bonded by quiet victory, and marked forever by the truth we exposed and the justice we reclaimed. I face the camera, the soft golden hour light spilling across the room, illuminating Auntie's calm smile in the background. She sits quietly, serene, the weight of past fear replaced by quiet triumph. My voice breaks the stillness. We faced humiliation, panic, and manipulation, the likes of which few can imagine. I begin, each word deliberate, heavy with emotion. Every call, every lie, every attempt to shake us tested patience, courage, and resilience. I recount the meticulous planning that carried us through. The late nights, the careful notes, the strategy behind that single decisive phone call. Every move had a purpose. Every pause a psychological tactic designed to turn arrogance into exposure. The lesson becomes clear. Underestimation is never weakness. Patience and intelligence, when combined, are far more lethal than brute force or rage. The screen splits. On one side, our initial fear, trembling hands, and anxious glances. On the other, the ultimate vindication, evidence laid bare, the scammer's arrogance crumbling under scrutiny. Subtle nods show every small maneuver, the planting of misinformation, the careful call, the recording that sealed the outcome. I reflect on Auntie's quiet courage, her intelligence, her resilience, the poise she maintained even in fear. These are the true victories. She is the hero, the silent strategist whose underestimated brilliance we finally honored. Revenge is not rage, I continue. It is reclaiming dignity, exposing truth, and empowering those the world tries to dismiss. It is quiet, calculated, and devastatingly just. Visuals flash across the screen, recorded calls, court documents, supportive friends, Aunty laughing in sunlight, the warmth of her restored life. I share the final mantra. Never underestimate those who seem quiet. They may be plotting brilliance behind calm eyes. I lean forward, direct and compelling, addressing the viewers. Stay vigilant. Trust your intuition. Never allow manipulation to go unchecked. Protect what matters, and remember, intelligence and patience always win. The montage continues. Calm home, laughter echoing in familiar spaces, sunlight painting Aunty as she tends her garden, the subtle music underscoring triumph and relief. The camera lingers on her smiling face, resilient, unbroken, proof that courage, intelligence, and patience are more powerful than any deceit. Fade out.